This rather frightening animal, with a unique shape of the head and jaw, may well be mistaken for a creature from hell. What you're seeing right now is not a genetic glitch or a mutant. This creature is called the ugliest animal in the world. But in Syria, in their homeland, goats of this breed are considered simply divinely beautiful. This is a rare breed of domestic goat called the Damascus goat, known as Shami. In many countries, they are kept because of their unique, exotic appearance. With bulging foreheads, drooping ears, and protruding bites, they resemble something out of science fiction. These demonic goats, and there's no other way to call them, are most common in Cyprus, Palestine, Israel, and Syria. The breed belongs to the heavy type. The maximum weight that Shami goats can gain becomes 130 kilograms with a height of 1 meter, and goats weigh up to 90 kilograms with a height of 75 to 85 centimeters at the withers. The most distinctive characteristic of the breed is a head with a very hooked muzzle. Another characteristic feature of pedigreed goats is hanging ears, the length of which can reach 30 centimeters. Many goat owners take the strange appearance of the Damascus goat to a new level by cropping their ears short. That's pretty right, isn't it, girl? They gained worldwide fame in 2008 when one of the goats of this breed won the title of the most beautiful goat in a beauty contest in Saudi Arabia. Now this rare breed has become extremely valuable. According to experts, the cost of one such goat is comparable to the cost of Arabian thoroughbred horses and can reach $67,000. The most shocking thing about this breed is the difference between their appearance when they are small and when they grow up. Shami goats with a small head and incredibly long ears look pretty cute. But then, they gradually begin to turn into a real monster capable of scaring many with their appearance. Would you like to meet such a cute goat? There are goats who love mountains and fresh air. They are very unpretentious and sometimes live in places where other animals simply cannot be found. And life in the mountains is very difficult. Only the smartest, cleverest, and of course, proud survive. The snow goat is a breed of goats living in the mountains. Goats live only in the Rocky Mountains of North America. They live very high. They can climb mountains to a height of about 3,000 meters. They lead a nomadic lifestyle, moving over bare rocks and patches of alpine lawns. Snow goats are real beauties. Their fur is white almost the whole year, and their hooves are black. Snow goats are very large. Their height at the withers is 90 to 105 centimeters. Weight is 85 to 135 kilograms. Because of the lush fur, they look even bigger. The goat's winter fur coat is such that it can withstand frosts up to -50 degrees Celsius. Snow goats have an incredible climbing ability. People for climbing have arms, legs, and a bunch of all sorts of devices, and goats have only legs. But the legs are not ordinary, but the best. Strong, slender, and very bouncy. Despite their impressive physique, they walk on completely steep cliffs with barely noticeable ledges and cornices. It seems completely incomprehensible how such large animals can stay there. They manage to put their hooves on the smallest stones and then climb onto ledges from which it is almost impossible to get off. They move slowly, lazily, and very rarely jump. At the same time, if the snow goat jumps, it is usually down, sometimes 6 to 7 meters, on a barely noticeable, often icy ledge. The hooves of a snow goat are a perfect device for climbing mountains. They are bifurcated and can move apart as needed, providing traction with the surface. They are soft in the center and very hard at the edges. That is why snow goats never slide on rocks, but seem to stick to them and can stay even on tiny ledges and climb steep slopes. These animals have plenty of enemies, But predators are extremely rare on their way, because they do not rise to such a height. But it happens when faced with an enemy, they fight off the enemy with their horns, thereby saving their lives. An angry goat can be a very dangerous component. The most terrible predator for them is a mountain lion that climbs rocks, just like snow goats. However, it must be said that the most dangerous creatures for animals are the human hunter and the human poacher. Do you agree? Share your opinion in the comments. Have you heard of goats fainting? As it turns out, goats are also known for how they faint, and they do this from strong fear or overexertion. In emergency situations, the goat falls into a complete stupor and falls on its back or sideways with its legs outstretched. Fainting goats are a type of ordinary domestic goats with a rare genetic disease, congenital myotonia. In stressful situations, animals develop complete muscular paralysis of the legs. Since it is impossible to stand in this state, they fall on their side or on their back. At the same time, the goats are fully conscious. As a rule, the condition is observed for a short time. When this happens, the goats usually freeze for about 10 seconds, but then get up and run about their business again. Isn't it interesting and funny to watch them run around and then suddenly faint? These pretty cute goats with big bulging eyes and a Roman profile are very popular. More and more often, they are brought up as a pet, especially small specimens, as they are smart, friendly, and funny. Currently, fainting goats in the United States are recognized as a rare breed of domestic animals and are under protection. A special kind of mountain goat lives in the Alpine Mountains, which are called ibex or ibex. Alpine ibex is an unsurpassed rock climber and mountaineer. And if it is clear why goats climb mountain slopes, then why do they stubbornly climb the slopes of dams? It's amazing to see goats not in the mountains, but on a dam. Impressive, right? Then let's put some likes. So why would mountain goats climb steep man-made walls? And then what they desperately lack in the mountains? And they don't have enough salt. And for the goats' sake, they are ready to walk many kilometers or climb unimaginable steps. The goats climb up on their hooves, as if they are rubber, and literally stick to an almost vertical wall. And they do all this solely in order to lick some salt. And they can also arrange a fight on a sheer wall, fighting for the saltiest place. It is very surprising to see goats moving around where they seemed to be nothing to cling to. And all this is thanks to tenacious hooves, a very good sense of balance, and a vestibular apparatus. That's what they are, salt goats. Would you like to have such a goat as a pet? It is known that goats are unsurpassed climbers, and goats can jump higher than their height from a place. Try again. What, it's not working? Yes, it is very difficult. And climbing a tree for goats is not difficult at all. Moroccan goats are the most bouncy on the planet, and they graze not on the ground, but on trees. This happens not from a desire to show off, but because of the acute shortage of grass in those places. Goats, like movie stuntmen, stand on incredibly shaky branches and reach for their delicacy, the fleshy and juicy fruits of argan. Maybe it's a specially bred breed that can climb argan, you ask? No, Moroccan goats are, in fact, the most ordinary. This is not some kind of unique species endowed with acrobatic abilities. It's just that goats, forced to adapt to the harsh local realities, have found a new food base. By the way, the height of argan reaches 8 to 10 meters. So, Moroccan goats can be safely recorded in the most real climbers. There are amazing goats of the Welsh breed. Their front half of the body is black, and the back half is white. Welsh goats come from Switzerland and are considered one of the oldest breeds in Europe. Her origin is African. They immigrated from Africa to Switzerland to a place called Valais in the mountains, and so far they live only in the upper Val. Both goats and goats have horns. The horns are very powerful and long, on average in goats 30 to 50 centimeters, in goats 80 centimeters. It was a Welsh goat named Harlequin with the length of 1 meter 24 centimeters horns that got into the Guinness Book of World Records in 1991. They are unique not only in color, but also in a very thick coat. After all, it is primarily a rock where wind, snow, and rain are at a frequent occurrence. The coat is very coarse, thick, and everywhere except for the muzzle and legs, long, up to 40 to 50 centimeters. There is a distinctive feature in the forehead, which is a thick bang. They are not cut, but they are scratched 2 times a year. They are still kept in some zoos as exotic animals. Screw-horned goats, marhoors, live high in the mountains. Of all mountain goats, they are the largest and the most powerful, with a body length of up to 1.7 meters, shoulder height of 90 centimeters, and a weight of up to 90 kilograms. The name of this species comes from the shape of the horns, twisting like a corkscrew or screw. Look at the magnificent horns on this goat right here. They reach a length of 1.5 meters. True, only males have luxurious horns. Females cannot boast of such a length and are content with 20 to 30 centimeter horns. The horns of a screw-horned goat are twisted in opposite directions. The number of revolutions reaches 2 to 3, rarely 4 revolutions. Mountain goats don't shed their horns, they wear them all their lives. And in order to maintain their ventrigost, the marhoors need to marry only their own kind. The habitat of this animal is steep slopes of gorges, rocks, and cliffs at an altitude of 500 to 3,500 meters in the mountains of northwestern India, eastern Pakistan, and Afghanistan. Screw-horned goats spend their whole lives among rocky cliffs and deep gorges. The mountains give them both food and shelter from enemies. The marhoors jumped so deftly to the steepest slopes that any climber would envy them for sure. Moving away from danger, they can go down into the gorge, jumping along the steep walls from one side to the other, while relying only on the smallest ledges. Their legs are strong and their hooves are designed so that they do not slip on stones, so predators who decide to hunt marhoors will have to look for other prey. Screw-horned goats are peaceful animals, but in the spring, when the males arrange tournaments, there is no trace of this calmness. Seeing each other, the rivals immediately try to prove their superiority by butting and pushing. They collide with strong foreheads with such force that the sound of the impact can't be heard for over a kilometer. There is an opinion that screw-horned goats became the ancestors of domestic goats.